At this place in history, we're in Montgomery Center with Executive Director of the Vermont Historical Society, Steve Perkins. What brings us to this spot right here?
So if you can imagine, behind us was a huge mill complex that made all sorts of wood products that shipped all over the country. So we're going to go down to the Montgomery Historical Society and meet with Scott Perry, and he's going to explain what I'm talking about.
So Franklin County and dairy are almost synonymous with each other, but is it fair to say there's a different industry that put Montgomery on the map?
Oh, absolutely, and that industry would be the butter tub industry. At the turn of the century, Montgomery produced over 1.5 million of those a year.
Now, most folks go to the store and you get your butter in sticks, right? You get 4 sticks in a box. When you're referring to butter tub, I'm assuming it's this wooden thing here?
It was used by folks that wanted to ship butter because dairy products would go bad, and that complicated the business of selling it and shipping it around different parts of the country. And so they settled on a butter tub, and hence Montgomery stepped in and filled the void. We had a lot of water power to run the mills, and we had a lot of spruce lumber, and that's what these are made of. The way they would do it is they would line the tub with paper, pack it with butter, and then ship it on out.
Are there many of these left today?
Not that we know of. You would think with the number that were produced that they'd be pretty easy to find,
Right.
but what we understand and were told was they would absorb some of the butter fat. Because of that, the wood would become rancid eventually and have to be thrown out or burned or something like that. These are tokens, and this is what the workers in a lot of the mills here were paid with. And you could take them into the company store and buy what you needed. One of the stories that we were told by one of the folks that worked in the mills was that at their lunchtime hours, they would all kind of gather outside the mill, and some of the local boys would come in and put on boxing matches. And the workers could then throw in a token into their tin can that they set out to collect things. And that way the kids could make a little bit of money or tokens and go to the store and cash them in.
So the big elephant in the room is this crate. How does that tie in?
One of the things as the economy transitioned away from butter tubs was Victrolas and other items that needed to be shipped around the country. People here adopted early the idea of plywood. One of the mills associated with the butter tubs eventually converted to 3-ply plywood packing cases. And what you see here is a packing case that was made about 1920 in Montgomery Center and used to ship a Victrola talking machine to some part in the country. And you'll notice that this has got some advertising printed on it. One of the things the company boasted about was that because the crates were used more than once, the advertising persevered and became even that much more valuable to someone, besides the fact of being stronger and lighter and costing less to ship your whatever it was. And they put out a catalog in 1920, showed all the different cases they made, and they could do custom as well. So even if you were getting tires or something like that, you might get them in a Nelson and Hall, Montgomery Center made packing case.
There's still evidence in town today. So if folks drive up to Montgomery, they can view some of the evidence of this wood industry today.
Absolutely. The company store is still in operation, although it's not a company store anymore. You'll be able to see the mill houses, and the mills owned about 50 to 70% of the buildings in the downtown areas of the village here in the center. And in fact, by 1920, Montgomery was the 5th largest town by population in Franklin County. Now we're back to last. But back then, it was a booming place just because of the mills and the different stuff related to the economy here.
At this place in history.